What's up, wrestling fans? Welcome to WWPWW episode number 77, and here we are going to be talking about...
Raw and SmackDown.
And, actually, it's episode 78. And the Greatest Royal Rumble event, which they hammered in the fact that now it's called the Greatest Royal Rumble event on SmackDown. They kept saying event. After the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah, it's not a pay-per-view, it's an event.
Yes. I don't know, but I don't know why they have to keep saying event. Why can't they just call it the Greatest Royal Rumble? Doesn't make sense. It's weird.
I don't know, but it's going on right now.
Yes, it is ongoing. It's been going on for about an hour and a half, Central Standard Time for us.
I was able to watch the first match. First match was really good. It was Cena versus Triple H. I won't talk about that right now because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it was a really good match. The crowd is pretty outstanding right now. I'm pretty excited about it.
Good.
I'm excited about one of the best things about pay-per-views are events. Are the crowd, and so right now the crowd in that match and around that match has been pretty exciting. So I'm excited to see what the crowd does. I'm excited to see how they react.
Hopefully they won't be some of like the super obnoxious American crowds and try to get themselves over with beach balls and chants and stuff like that.
I think they'll be old school wrestling fans. They'll still do the Cena sucks stuff, but they'll be old school. It'll be nice. It'll be nice to see.
It will. I can't wait to watch it. I'm super excited. During my class earlier today, I'm just like, come on, get over.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the podcast and go watch the show. Then of course we're gonna go see Avengers later tonight, anyways too. So
that's right.
Today's just chock full of stuff. Today's gonna be an awesome day.
That's right. WWE thinks they have the greatest Royal Rumble, and the reality is Avengers has the greatest Royal Rumble. So,
exactly.
So we will.
Nice
I'm
plug.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
So many good things to get to today. I'm in a good mood today, if you couldn't tell. Let's get cracking with the knacking. We're going to do Raw and SmackDown recaps, and then we'll look over the Greatest Royal Rumble real quick and talk about who we think will win and stuff like that. We'll obviously just skip the first match since you know who wins. And anyways, but yeah.
And we're probably going to be wrong on all of them. So
yeah, who knows what'll happen.
All right. So let's go ahead and start with Raw.
What did you like about Monday Night Raw? What didn't you like? What was your overall vibe and everything?
There wasn't anything I disliked. Really, the hour and a half that Hulu put up was pretty well put together. Really pretty streamlined. It showcased a couple of the newer talent that came to Raw, which I enjoyed. I thought. Sorry, I really liked SmackDown a lot too because they did kind of the same thing. They allowed the newer talent that is on Raw, or both Raw and SmackDown, they've allowed the new talent to kind of shine, which is kind of nice. So the major things I liked the teaming of Strowman and Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that a lot. If they were to ever team together again, two things would happen. One, they would never lose the titles. Two, I would love to see a Lashley versus Nicholas match. That's all I gotta say. I just thought that was pretty awesome. In my mind, I was like, man, Lashley, you're gonna get it when Nicholas gets here. Summer break.
Oh yeah.
Watch out, Lashley.
Yeah.
And they have T-shirts on WWE.com with the greatest tag team ever, Strowman and Nicholas. The little kid Nicholas or something. I think it's what his name was on the T-shirt. Really cool. If they still have one, by the time I have money, I might get one.
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see. So I liked that pairing, and that match was really well done, well put together. My favorite parts about that was the Strowman running around the ring, hitting Kevin Owens like three or four times, whatever. The drop kick that Corey kept putting over as the Tyrannosaurus drop kick. I thought that I'm all right with that name.
Yeah, me too. It's all right. And the way KO sold it too, the way he just was like, his arms were like kind of folded in. He was like just like. Like, where am I?
He does a good.
That was good.
I think they should call it prehistoric dropkick. I think that would be kind of a cool name. But because he says prehistoric and then he goes back to Tyrannosaurus dropkick. I like the prehistoric better. I just think that would be fun. So I liked that. The whole Alexa Bliss saying that Nia Jax is bullying. That was kind of funny, but also I hope they resolve that because they're making fun of bullying. Like the bully is bullying the bully, the fake bully. Mm-hmm. And so I hope they correct that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I liked that segment. I thought that was really
Very
funny.
Sarah
And this has
McLachlan.
been,
I liked
yeah,
that.
this has been your moment of bliss. I thought that's pretty cute. The 10 women match was pretty good. I liked the ending. I like what they're setting up. I absolutely want to see Ronda versus Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey being the veteran, and Ronda, after her WrestleMania debut, she did a really good job, and I hope she can. I think just that little takedown into the armbar was good. Mickey has been selling like a champ lately, and so that match I can't wait to see. And then going into the big feud, I'm assuming is going to be Ronda and Natalia, which I can't wait to see either. So I like that. I like the continued cold shoulder of Bayley to Sasha. I really like that. Sad that Ember messed up her line, but she recovered well. I like Chad Gable. Sorry, it's going to be a pain. I like Chad Gable. He messed up a little bit of his stuff. Or he was a little skittish in his lines. But I like that match. I hope they come back to that eventually. What else? The opener was... What was the opener? Oh, it was Miz TV.
Mm-hmm.
No. Miz is on SmackDown. Sorry, that was the opener. What was the opener for Raw?
Was Brock.
Oh, Brock. Yeah, and again, Heyman does his job well. The best thing about the kickoff show for the Greatest Royal Rumble was him stepping in and talking. I thought.
Heyman was on it. That's cool.
Just for like a brief second, if you can find that clip, it was pretty good. He comes in, looks at Lawler, and says, "What you said, I agree with what you said." It was really kind of funny. His segment was really good on the kickoff show. But yeah, Heyman did his job, did it well. I'm trying to think of what else I really liked. I like the teaming of Seth and Finn. It makes me wonder if Seth will lose the Intercontinental title, and I would like to see them kind of pair up as the tag team for a bit, and then Dean come back and kind of drive a wedge between the two as a heel, kind of just that heel like, well, Finn, I heard Finn say this about you kind of thing. I'd like to see that kind of dynamic happen. I can't think of anything else. What did you think of Raw?
I really liked it a lot too. For some reason it didn't record, so I'd watch the Hulu version too. And the streamlined Hulu, I just wish that they would allot for more time. Instead of an hour, 30 minutes, I think that they should cut it down from 2 hours.
Yep.
Cut it down from the 2.5, 3, whatever it would be without commercials, down to 2 hours. I think an hour and a half is just a little too much cut out. But it was a very good streamlined version that I was able to see. I don't know any other stuff that I missed or whatever, so I don't know what all was on there, what wasn't on there. But yeah, Ember Moon was probably the greatest tope suicida I've ever seen. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I worried for Liv. when she fell down, I was like, oh, Liv is so much small. Like Ember's small, but she's thick.
She's jacked. Yeah.
she's thick. She's jacked. Yeah. And when she hit Liv, I was like, oh, I hope Liv's okay.
Yeah, they're both short, but yeah, ooh man, Ember, she's got some guns. Yeah, it was one of the. It was the greatest tope suicida I've ever seen. It was awesome. Like I just was like, holy crap! Like it was just so seamless, and so rigid when she went through. She wasn't kind of like she just torpedoed right through the ropes, and then the way she just landed perfectly on her knees and still used her momentum to get right back up. Like it was just this very smooth ninja-like thing. Like she's been shining. It's only been 2-3 weeks since she's been on. I think this is her third. She's been shining so far, and so I'm glad that so far they haven't ruined her. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
They've been doing a good job with her. I don't know what feud they'll go into with her, what singles feud, because I'm kind of sick and tired of constantly the whole women, the 6 women tag match and the 8 women tag match and the 10 women tag. Like this match was great. Like this deserved to be like the main event, of the show.
Oh yeah.
It was a fantastic match. I really enjoyed it. But I wanted them to kind of start fractioning off and doing, one-on-one feuds again. I don't want it to always be the Riot Squad versus all these women who are teaming up. But the 2 teams of 5, both those teams were really good groupings together. Like,
yeah.
I loved the whole idea of Mickey and Alexa teaming up with the Riot Squad. I liked that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I rather enjoyed that. The opening with Brock and Roman, it was okay. It was good. It hyped the fight. Roman just kind of doing that John
The
Wick,
one-liner,
Keanu
yeah.
Reeves, like, which you and I have always said, like, he doesn't need to go on these big, long-winded, like, the feud with John Cena warranted that. Warranted him bringing out that anger and talking back and forth and stuff like that. But this was just a very, this Brock Lesnar doesn't say anything. Paul Heyman does all his talking. So this warranted just I'm done talking. We're gonna fight.
Yep.
So that was well done. But I feel like there should have been something like a more intense stare off, or
In the like getting in the face.
yeah, like getting in the face, or
like
something.
Because you're absolutely right. Like Heyman hyped this. This is going to be in a cage. Brock he fights in the cage for real. Fights in a cage. That they should have done that fighter thing where they get up in each other's face, don't touch each other, and even Paul maybe even getting in between and stopping them.
Yeah,
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah. So like it just kind of, it was good. It got me excited. It was cool, but yeah, it did kind of need, like, that's a really good point, a UFC type of face off. Like it needed just one little thing extra to kind of really drive it home. But it's still, I'm still good with it. No problems at all. Yeah, I pretty much liked everything you talked about. Like, yeah, like it was just really good, really well done. I was pleased by it. Yeah, Heyman just never not good on the mic.
Yeah,
Never not good on the mic.
Unless you're in Lesnar's home state.
Yeah, and you're trying to get them to turn on Lesnar. Like,
there's nothing you can do.
I'm
sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
Like, you are the best, but there's no way.
Yeah, you can't get somebody's hometown to boo it. Like, it's like they should have gone to Oklahoma, where Goldberg was from.
Yeah.
and got a bunch of heel heat on Lesnar.
And he could have been like, he lives in Canada now, right?
Yeah, like, something like thing. That. Yeah.
Like, he left you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But there's that. Back to the women's thing. I think they did it. I think that was good that they did it that way, because now we see there's 11 women on the Raw side of the women's division. That's good for us to see.
It is,
to
very
know
much so.
That look at all the possibilities that we have, and
how far we've come from 10 years ago with sexy, bra and panties matches and all this goofy, guys dressing like chicks to win a battle royal, and just standing there and looking pretty, and they all stand there and look pretty, but they're also great wrestlers.
Absolutely.
So all of them, like, just like when, like, the 5 baby faces were backstage, it's just like there's not a single not pretty one, like just like but see, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not, they don't have that Vince Russo where it's like, oh man, they're so good looking, bro. They're so good looking, bro. I hate Vince Russo. They're good looking women, but that kind of takes a back. Like, that's the first thing you notice. It kind of gets eyes on the product. Like, you look at guys like Roman or AJ or Finn. It's like, oh, good looking fellows. That'll get eyes on the product. And then they see the in-ring stuff. Same thing with the ladies. You like, wow, these ladies are really pretty. And then you see the in-ring. Wow, these gals can go. It's awesome to see how far they've come from all that. And it is good to see this 10-women tag match main eventing, and then Ronda coming out. It's just like, wow, stacked. Like, the greatest time for women's wrestling probably ever right now. Like,
pretty close. Yes, you are absolutely right. Because when I think of the 90s version of WWE women's wrestling, there were some good ladies who were wrestling then. The problem was it was all based around Alundra Blaze, and she was great. She was really, really good. And then when she went over to WCW, the women's wrestling just pretty much died. And so you're absolutely right. It is the greatest time in women's wrestling, not just in WWE, but around the world. Maybe except for Saudi Arabia and Japan right now. But you're absolutely right. Anything else on Raw? I remembered something, but
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I really, really liked.
Ziggler and McIntyre?
Yes, that's what I... Thank you for reminding me. I was just like, I know there's something. So thank you. I also liked Bo and Axel backstage. Trying to get a new fearless leader. I liked that. Like, first with... and then I was like, we're going to redesign, rebuild, reclaim, and they rip open their jackets, burn it down. Like, I fell out, man. That was great. And then the thing they did with Finn, and like, where they're just too sweet, and then he comes back in and pushes their hands down.
That's better.
That was funny. Like, that was great. I loved both of those segments. But
You thinking what I'm thinking?
No, I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Those two guys, I'm glad that they kept them together, man.
Me too.
Like, year and a half ago, those guys were like, they didn't have anything for them, and now they do. So that's good.
Yep.
Because these guys are great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, so good to see that. But yeah, Ziggler and McIntyre. Thank you so much for reminding me.
Yeah, I don't know why I forgot about it.
Like, I don't know why I did. That was one of my favorite things. Like,
I think it was short. That's the reason why I didn't think of it.
That's probably why. That's good observation. Yeah, I loved the double finisher, the Claymore into the zigzag. It's really cool looking. And you're absolutely right. The new Diesel and Shawn, and it totally works. I'm really digging it. McIntyre has a slightly different theme song, very very slightly different, a little more sinister sounding. And yeah, it's just a really cool pairing. I wouldn't have never thought to pair these two guys together, and now that they're here, I'm just like, I love it.
Yeah, and with their entrances now, it makes like the record scratching makes more sense.
Yeah.
To actually have something before it. So I agree that their entrance, his song is slightly different, but that's fine. I mean, I do like their entrance. The Claymore zigzag. I hope they name that, like, have a really cool name for that. I really like that.
Gotta show off. I don't know.
Something.
They do need to come up with a cool name for it.
Yeah, and it sounds like I think after their segment when they said we are the show,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's being reported that's going to be their team name, the show, which I'm alright with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That would be pretty neat. Yeah, I loved Monday Night Raw. This was a really really good edition of Monday Night Raw. Got me really excited to watch Greatest Royal Rumble. It just got me excited for the months to come. Like,
yes,
so many cool stuff happening. So what is there anything else that you would like to bring up before we round it out?
I'm glad that they did the Superstar shakeup because we do get fresh pairings, we get just fresh everything, especially on Raw. Like I was very skeptical when they took a majority of SmackDown and put them on Raw, mostly because a lot of the people they put on from SmackDown to Raw were the people they were kind of trying to highlight. We had no Bobby Roode, or at least as far as I know. I mean, maybe there was Bobby Roode and we didn't see it.
Yeah.
But we didn't see Bobby Roode. We didn't see Baron Corbin and maybe a couple other guys this week. So that I'm worried about. But if they can do that every other week thing that NXT kind of does, where it's like they showcase 1 week they showcase a bunch of talent and their main guy. The next week they showcase. If they can do that, I'm fine with that. Keep their main story through the whole show, then highlight the different people. They don't always have to be on TV. But with that being said, I felt like Raw maybe not nailed it, but they did a really good job this week. There wasn't anything I disliked. So yeah.
I just remembered something else that I really liked. It was a really short thing, but it was just the Samoa Joe selfie video.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
Like, some of these selfie videos are goofy, and especially when they have the text popping up on screen. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that with his, but I loved the line, especially that he used to close it out, where he just goes, I've heard you spin this tale before, and it'll end the way it always does, with the beast conquering the big dog, and then he'll leave you buried in the sands of the Arabian desert. I was like, whoa. Like, I got goosebumps when he said that. I was like, that was really cool. Like, that was a very sinister, super villain type line. Like, it was really cool.
I also forgot his second line to Chad may have been a little too.
Yeah, I didn't much care for that.
I part of me was like, okay, that'll bring him heat. Part of me wonders if because it seemed like he was not necessarily tripping over, but wondering if he should have said it, like as an actor in that position.
Because that totally sounds like something Vince was just like would have been like, and then he's just like, on one hand, I want to be a good employee. On the other hand, I probably shouldn't say this. And so he kind of said it half-heartedly, half kind of like, I don't want to say this.
It felt like that to me too.
Yeah.
But the first was like, oh, Nicholas! Like, that whole thing was funny.
That was good.
Oh, that was good. I thought there was something else that I wanted to say about it. I can't remember anything else. Yeah, I can't think of it.
Okay. So, letter grade. What would you give this week's Monday Night Raw?
I'll give it an A. It exceeded my expectations. Um, there wasn't anything outside of Ember, a little flub by Ember and a little flub by Chad that was any issue. I liked all the wrestling. I liked all the pairings that they had. And I look forward to seeing what they do on Raw in the months to come. What about you?
Agree. I would give it an A minus. Very, very good. Was just enjoyed by everything that happened. Quite entertained. It was very good. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see what happens with everything that's going on. And I'm glad that the Roman and Brock thing kind of was still. I mean, it was the thing that opened the show. But they didn't drag it on too long. They were like, you guys know everything that's going on with this feud. Now let's showcase all the other guys. You know, I'm glad that they were at the forefront, but they also at the same time took a back seat to all the other stuff. So I thought that was good. And then also the Bruno Sammartino video package that opened was aces. That's A plus. That was amazing. So yeah, it gets A minus, almost an A, but A minus. It was fantastic.
Right on. All right. Well, we move from our grade on Raw to what we thought about SmackDown Live. Caleb, your thoughts?
By far, my favorite thing was the Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy stuff. That was probably my favorite stuff because Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, two of my all-time favorites, and Shelton Benjamin was awesome in this. I loved the match, the Randy Orton Shelton Benjamin match. It was really, really good, really old school. It was a lot of fun. The WWE memes posted a GIF of the match, and it said OVW. It was like 2002 OVW match. Mm-hmm. Footage has been found or something like that. So that was funny. But yeah, that was really good. And I love that Jeff came out and then his music cut off and then he just kind of stands there like, I know what's coming up next. And then Randy's music hits and he comes out and then Randy just stops there right next to him, but he doesn't look at him. Yeah. And then he just comes up and I was just like, oh man, that's totally, like that was really cool. So yeah, I liked that whole bit of like, you interrupt me, I interrupt you, and then he just takes the match and then goes in, and the match was really good. I liked it. I loved I can't remember if it's Samir or Sunil, but one of the Singh brothers, with the lucha mask jumps in, and then
it's Deadpool is what.
Yeah, he's like, what the? That's Wade Wilson.
Wade Wilson. That's what he said.
And then I love that Randy just grabs her, stands there, just like, wait a minute, and then just takes the mask off. Like that was funny. Like that whole bit was good. I liked that. But yeah, the match was good. I liked that he that he acted like he was gonna throw Benjamin into Jeff Hardy. Then he stopped there, smiled, then did the back body drop on the table. But yeah, so like all that stuff was good. I really, really enjoyed that. Just Randy Orton, keeps growing his hair out, keeps shaving his beard. He's looking more and more like the Legend Killer, like the Randy Orton I knew back in the days of yesteryear. But yeah, it's just crazy how it's just funny, like, cause like I still picture him with the really, really, really short hair and the beard, and then he comes out, and I was just like, he looked 10 years younger than I picture. But so that was kind of funny and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, just he looks more and more like Clint Eastwood the older he gets. But so yeah, all that was good, and then all the stuff with Charlotte and Carmella. I liked the contract signing, the way she just looks at her and goes woo, and then just smashed her face into the table and flipped up the table. I liked that whole bit. That was really good. And I loved Carmella playing the promo video twice. That was funny. That was oh man, that was really good. I quite enjoyed that. That was funny. Get some good heel heat, and then the confrontation between the two was really good. Something I'm intrigued about but kind of disappointed in is that they're not fast tracking and just go ahead and doing the Miz feud with Daniel Bryan. My guess is they probably want some filler stuff because they want this to be maybe at SummerSlam. I'm guessing maybe
one of the big four. Yeah, definitely.
So, which I get, but at the same time, it's just like they could still build. I don't know. It's just like there's a meme going out there where it shows Daniel Bryan like looking down all sad. Then it says when everybody's stoked for this 8 years in the making feud with the Miz, and then they pair you together with Big Cass. And it's just like, I feel that same way, kind of. Like, I'm, like, it's just like, since they paired, like ever since they turned Big Cass heel, he's kind of been super boring. Which I thought turning him heel, he'd be much better. He'd be much more interesting. But he's just kind of been boring. And then he did his best on Miz TV. Miz TV wasn't a bad segment. It just, I don't know. There was something off about Miz TV. For me, I don't quite know what it was. It was just something off about it, and like I don't know. I just feel very weirded out by everything that's happened. It seemed like they I don't know. There was just something weird about it that kind of was like, I don't know. But Miz himself was amazing. Everything he did, was spot on. Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to think of what else I really liked. I liked the backstage thing with the Usos and Naomi. Like all that stuff was really cute. I liked that. Like, I especially loved Jay with the "Yo, what up, sis?" and they have like their own secret handshake, and then he walks out, and then Jimmy and her have like that cute moment backstage. I liked that. That was that was a nice touch. That whole stuff. So I liked that. The match wasn't bad either. I quite liked that, and so like I'm kind of getting interested to seeing if they're going to be a stable now, those three, or something like that kind of. So
that's what I'm wondering too.
Really be interested in that. And then the backstage thing with the bar and the New Day was funny. I liked that too. That was good. Trying to think of anything else. Top of my head. I like that Gallows and Anderson are back with AJ. I'm really interested to see where these two, quote unquote, seemingly maybe not factions are going. Like I think it would be kind of cool to have, Rusev Day bring Shinsuke in, Shinsuke and Rusev Day. Like I would like to see maybe where that could go if they do decide to actually like. And I love the whole back thing where Dasha's like, and then just Aiden English opens the door, no interviews, and then shuts the door. Like that was funny. I got a kick out of that. And the match itself, was okay, and like it was mainly just a storyline type thing, which I get. But so yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with this whole club reunion, quote unquote, and then with the seeming tag teaming of pairing up rather of Rusev Day and Shinsuke. So can't think of anything else. If there's anything else I didn't mention, please bring it up and discuss it. But what about you? What did you think of SmackDown?
I actually liked Cass this week. He didn't trip over any of his words.
He didn't.
My only issue is the reason for hating Daniel Bryan is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But with that being said, he delivered every one of his lines. He convinced me that he hates Daniel Bryan. It is weird that they're doing it this way, but to be honest, I would, as a business, I understand them wanting to wait until one of the big four to have this blow off. I don't know how they're going to get there, but I'm intrigued on how they get there. I'm fine with pit stops. Don't get me wrong. But I felt like Cass did his job. He went out there, and I felt like he was convincing. He pandered, or he didn't pander to the crowd. He mocked the crowd at times, and he did. I think he did his best. He did better than he's ever done, in my opinion. But I like that. You're right about Miz. Miz was great. I'm worried that Jeff will lose the U.S. title, and that the Miz will bring back the Intercontinental title. I don't want that to happen, mostly because the biggest thing that intrigues me, even though I want to see Jeff and Randy, the biggest thing that intrigues me, and I think the greatest thing about it is that Jeff is champion, U.S. champion. I want to see him be champion for a decent amount of time. I want to see this feud. I want to see Benjamin get involved in this feud, because it's a throwback to, I didn't watch this era of wrestling, but it's a throwback to that era of wrestling where all three of those guys were mixing it up and whatnot. And so I want to see that. I think they did. I feel like WWE hit the target on that when last week when they brought Jeff on to SmackDown and that whole thing started. I feel like it would lose its luster for me if Jeff dropped the title today.
I agree.
Even though I still want to see it, there's just no reason to see it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I fear that that's what's going to happen. I hope not. Either which way, that segment was beautiful. Jeff just kind of being around and walking back and forth. That was really funny. The match was really good. Absolutely loved the backstage with Naomi and the Usos. makes me wonder if the Bludgeon Brothers will bring in somebody else, a girl, but
Nikki Cross.
that's what I'm thinking. But
Interesting.
I don't like that, mostly because she was with Sanity, and it's the Bludgeon Brothers. Don't bring Nikki in and say, this is the Bludgeon sister. That's
That would be stupid.
Um,
What if they called her Sister Nikki?
Sister Nikki might be interesting.
Or Madam Nikki or something. I don't know.
I'm sure they could do it. Because Nikki was... my only issue with Nikki is I love her character. Sometimes she was a little too over top for me. Even mostly because I felt like she was a little dangerous in that craziness. I think she played the character very, very well, very convincing to me. But if she dialed it back a little bit to be kind of more stoic, like you said, Sister Nikki or something like that, I think that would be interesting and cool. What else about? I do like the AJ or the club and AJ are interacting. What I want to ultimately see is, whether it be next year or sometime, I want to see AJ versus Finn.
100%.
I want to see both of them figuring out a way to make their own faction. I don't care how they do it. I just want to see it and go from there. But when they came on screen, I was like, that would be really cool if they started something, and maybe even have to even bring them together, have Gallows and Anderson kind of play them both. There's so many things in my head, and I'm a little too creative for wrestling right now.
Same.
Yeah, we're just like, oh, this would be awesome. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But fantasy booking, that's what I would do. I'm interested in seeing. I think, I know it's getting into the kind of the thoughts on Greatest Royal Rumble. I think Shinsuke will win the title tonight, this afternoon. I think that's a good thing. I like the stuff that happened with them. I like the match until even the hitting and then the uppercut to the groin. That was pretty clever. I hope they do a shot with him doing that, and AJ's like, I got a cup on type thing.
Just like hits the cup. He's like, rookie.
Because one of the things they did on the kickoff show was AJ's like, I know who he is now. I know this. I know what. I'm like, have a cup on, man. Have a cup on it when he kicks you or whatever, and you'd be like, no. I think that would be funny.
Barbed wire cup that Mick Foley gave him.
Yeah, it is like blood everywhere. That'd be funny. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the contract signing was really good. I love the fact that she played her thing twice. I love the pack. I actually like the package because it gives room to, if they were to ever do it, to bring back James Ellsworth, to be like, listen, I helped you win that. There's so much stuff it could do. If they wanted to do intergender wrestling, I think that would be kind of fun to do that.
Excuse me.
Trying to think what else was on. What else is on SmackDown?
Right.
Because Absolution wasn't on SmackDown, but they had the tag team match. It was Becky and Asuka versus
the Iconics.
The Iconics. My favorite thing about the Iconics is their mic skills have gotten 1,000 times better, and I really think they're funny. They're more of a gimmick comic group, tag team, which I'm okay with because they pull that off well. Their selling is very comedic, which I'm okay with because I laughed, I was entertained, and I liked the roll up through the ropes. I thought that was pretty good. I don't necessarily think I think Peyton is better than Billy Kay in the ring, but I don't think either of them can hold a candle to either Asuka or Becky in the ring. But I do like them as a group. I do like them as a kind of a comedy-esque type tag team. I'm fine with them. I look forward to, hopefully one day, there being a women's tag team division.
Yeah.
There's rumors that maybe by SummerSlam. So I'm holding my breath. I can't think of anything else.
Me neither. Yeah, I think we kind of covered everything. Because I can't think of anything else. Like, I'm pretty sure that was about everything. So.
All right. Well, if we think of anything else, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So SmackDown Live, Caleb, what would you grade it as?
I would give SmackDown Live a B+. That's what I would give it. I think I liked Raw just a tad bit better, but SmackDown was great as well. It did its job, as sort of a go home show, kind of thing, building up to the Greatest Royal Rumble. I get that. It's sort of a go home show. And they're also starting to sell Backlash, which I get because that's only in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, did a good job with that. I'm glad that I agree with you. I'm glad that all the newer people are getting a chance to shine on both shows, and all the superstar shakeup. Yeah, has so far been a 1,000% success thus far in my eyes. I think so far everything that's happened has been awesome. And so yeah, this was really good. Like I said, not quite as good as Raw, but it was still very enjoyable.
Yeah, I agree. I think Miz is where he shines the most. Even though he was great on Raw, I think he was so much better he is that heel that SmackDown needs. And super excited. So for me, my grade, I would give it an A as well because I felt like everything was done well. Even the video packages were done well. The backstage stuff was done well. I can't wait for El Idolo. I can't even do it. El Idolo to come. I can't wait to Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega. Can't wait for them to come aboard.
Who do you think will be his first feud, if you had to guess?
I don't know.
Right?
Mostly because I'm assuming he's going to continue to be a heel. I would love. I mean, I know we're trying to go Daniel Bryan to the Miz, but I would love to see him and Daniel Bryan and see what they could do. That would be a rad. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody versus Daniel Bryan, and even I would say, there's so much talent on both brands that I just want to see everybody against everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So.
Yeah.
But I really don't know. I would like to see Daniel Bryan. I'm trying to think of some of the other faces, like AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan are the only two I can think of. I had another thought that they should take Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, and they should make both of them the champion. Like they should make one WWE champion, the other whichever side championship they have.
US or IC.
Yeah, and then make them kind of like an Old West type thing where everybody's gunning for them, and so they have to team up a lot of times, and then they have to do kind of a weird. I don't know how they could do it because you'd have to think about it, but
that's a really cool idea.
They're both back. Their backs are against the wall. They have to help each other at times. They have to figure out ways to win and stuff. Kind of all the bad guys are gunning for them because it just seems like I can't think of any other good guys on SmackDown
besides them.
The male on the men's side.
Yeah, AJ and Daniel are about the only ones right now. Yeah.
I mean, technically the club is now, but they're tag team division. Technically the Usos are, but they're tag team division. Yeah, I can't think of it. Another one off the top of my head. So anyway, with that being said, sorry again, I'm all in my head.
I mean, Samoa Joe wasn't even on here. He had that video, which wasn't bad either because he's great at talking, and like especially as a bad guy, he's great at talking. But yeah, like I'm glad that even though he was on last week, and he's not on, he just had that video. I'm glad that his presence is still being felt with that video. So I think that's cool. So
I give it an A. So that's my final statement on SmackDown.
So no, did you have like a fantasy booking thing you wanted to say real quick or something? Did you say, or am I remembering something wrong?
I think it was that the AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay, that's what you were saying.
I can't remember I'd have to go back and listen to it.
Because I thought of something last night really cool. I wanted to run by it. It just won't take but a minute. But I think it would be really cool that, let's say tonight, Brock loses, or this afternoon rather. It's night over there.
Yeah.
Let's say Brock loses and Shinsuke wins. Brock's tired of being on Raw, so for the first time in like 13 years, he goes over to SmackDown, and he's just like, yeah, I'm done with Raw. I don't care. I have a bad taste in my mouth from Raw. Blah blah blah. Obviously, Paul would be saying everything, but
that's funny.
And and so he's just like, so Brock's coming back to where he started, SmackDown, and all that.
Mm.
And he could do the whole, oh, in 2003 and 4, SmackDown was the house that Brock Lesnar built, and all that stuff. And then you start a feud with Brock Lesnar and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hmm.
So Brock puts over Shinsuke on his way out or something. He can do a little feud with Shinsuke and stuff like that, because they had a couple matches back in New Japan when Brock was there. And so I think it would be really cool now to see it happen in WWE. I think that would just be kind of neat. Like, I think it'd be cool because it'd be different to see Brock on SmackDown now. For the because nobody knows except for Brock and Vince probably what exactly the whole situation is with his contract. So much speculation and stuff
they think
about what it is.
Yeah,
they think it was just the optional extension or whatever that was on there.
The new I don't know if it's right or not, but the new thing is that he's getting over $600,000 per appearance, and then some more for if he wrestles. And so it's a per appearance thing now.
Okay.
But it's still a lot of money. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Over $500,000 to come and just show up, not say a thing.
Yeah.
Can I do that? Can you guys give me $500,000? I will go and not say a thing and let somebody put me over. Come on, how much did Nicholas get? Did Nicholas get $600,000? I mean, that dude should have had college paid for.
Yeah, no kidding. Right.
I wonder if he did get something.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Nicholas. I'll put you over.
So yeah,
that's not a bad idea, and I think it would even be cooler is if he won, and then was like, you know what, do the same thing. I'm done with Raw. I've beaten everybody. I'm gonna go to SmackDown and beat everybody there, and then on his way out, like you said, put over Shinsuke. Shinsuke wins the Universal title, then goes to Raw.
Now that is not a bad idea.
That'd be interesting.
Well, thanks for taking my idea and making it better.
That's what we do. You've done the same thing to me.
That's what we do all the time. I know, it's just funny, it's just so funny how we feed off of each other in that way. We're just like, oh, I had a great idea and you made it better, sweet.
Hear that, WWE? Hire us as writers. We'll make things better.
Exactly. We should be writers. I don't know what they're thinking. They should be listening to the show, man.
Yeah, come on.
No, we'll give the fans what they want.
Right. We will.
And part of what we want.
Yeah. I mean, we will put over every person on your roster in one way or another. Don't worry about that. We've got ideas.
Yeah. Exactly. So, that was Raw and SmackDown. You want to give a quick look on Greatest Royal Rumble?
Yeah, I've got CBS's site pulled up. They don't have any spoilers yet, and so I'll go ahead and read them.
Okay, and then
we'll go that way.
Okay. Yeah, because
right,
I don't want to look on Wikipedia and accidentally see who won everything.
That's why I was like, I better not get on Wikipedia because they will show everything. CBS doesn't have who's won yet.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Don't hit refresh. Interesting case.
Yeah. And this is in no particular order, even though
sure
we already knew
the titles
first match. So we'll start with the Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander versus Kalisto. Caleb, who you got in one?
Cedric's going to win.
I'm hoping for that as well. Anything else you want to say about that?
Nope.
Okay. Raw Tag Team Championships. The Bar versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt Hardy. I'm just playing. The Woken, what they call themselves? The
Woken Warriors?
No. The Eater of Worlds. He's the Eater of Worlds. The something of Worlds, I can't remember. Anyway. Caleb, who do you think is going to win? The Bar or Matt and Bray?
I think the Woken ones will win. Just because I feel like the Bar, as great as they are, they have kind of run out of gas on Raw. I think that on SmackDown they can recharge and go up against it, because it's been 2 years since we've seen them in New Day, and we can see them in Usos, which the match they had at Survivor Series this past year was really good. Usos greatest tag team in the world right now, and see them in Bludgeon Brothers, see them in so and so. I think it's time for them to stay away from Raw. I think they've kind of exhausted everything over there, and now it's time for a recharge period over on SmackDown. So I think that the Woken ones will win.
I hope that's the case. I foresee them, if the Bar wins, everything is going to get convoluted. I think they want to keep things simple. They want to keep the Bar on SmackDown, and they want to keep Matt and Bray on Raw instead of doing a flippy floppy. Because I think you said it last week. They want to keep Jeff and Matt away from each other, and I think this is the best way to do it. And the bar, I think, not necessarily give new life on SmackDown, but fresh matches. I'm definitely looking forward to that. And so whereas I can see them doing Matt and Bray, or as I can see them doing the bar, I want them to have Matt and Bray because there's a story to be told there.
Exactly.
All right, SmackDown Tag Team Championships: the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos. Who you got and why?
I think the Bludgeon Brothers will win it. It just kind of makes sense to me, you know.
I want to agree with you, but I could see the Usos winning it. Naomi can't be involved. Yeah, Bludgeon Brothers win. Unless they figure out a way. Man, I've heard a rumor that there's going to be like 4 or 5 title changes. So,
wow.
Yeah. So far we've gotten 3 titles, and none of them in our minds have well, one of them is vacated, but 2 titles, and neither of them changed. All right. So, yeah, we both say the Bludgeon Brothers. All right, United States Championship. Jeff Hardy versus Jinder Mahal. Who you got and why?
I think Jeff Hardy. I don't think they would give the title to him because they've always been high on Jeff. And so I think giving him the title is a great idea, and I feel like he's great on SmackDown. I feel like Jinder is better suited right now on Raw, and I feel like keeping the U.S. title over on SmackDown and keeping Jeff as the champ for a long time is much better. So I don't know. That's what I think.
Okay.
So I think maybe Jeff. I think.
And I keep forgetting about Backlash being a dual-branded show. And so I could probably make a case that Jinder wins, and then they have a rematch at Backlash. But I would like to see Jeff Hardy retain. And so that's my thought behind that. And I agree with you, everything you said. All right, Intercontinental Championship ladder match. Seth Rollins versus The Miz versus Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. Who you got and why?
I think all the guys will look strong. I think they'll all look good in the match. I think it will be Seth or Finn who wins. I think probably Seth will retain, but I think it's going to be one of those guys.
There was a rumor that apparently Bobby Lashley was advertised, not around here, but in Saudi Arabia as a part of this match. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's actually going to be in the match, but he was advertised overseas that he was going to be in the match.
Interesting.
Which I forgot about that until I just read this. Bobby Lashley has been advertised as part of this match, but he was not added to it on Raw. So who knows what happened there?
Weird.
That would have made it a weird match.
Yeah.
Not a bad match, just a weird match. Part of me wants to say The Miz because he deserves it, but I think you're right, and I'm going to go with Finn. Finn wins the Intercontinental title.
All right.
We'll get to that last. Rusev versus Undertaker in a casket match. You got and why?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know because they like, for whatever reason, having Rusev lose. He's still not gonna get buried because he's so over that no matter how many times he loses, people won't let him get buried. They love him too much, which is awesome. So that's good to know. Everybody's so behind Rusev. But Taker is also a guy who is always willing to put over younger guys and is always willing to give back to the business. So I'm constantly going back and forth between who will win and who will lose. It's really tough for me to pick this one. Yeah. This is the toughest one for me to pick, honestly. Just because I can see either ways. I can see them being like, well, he's the Undertaker. How can you? I mean, come on, you can't beat the Undertaker, right. Unless you're like a big name, guy, a big strong guy. And which Rusev isn't a little guy, but he's one of those heels who is a big tough guy, but always loses to the good guy in the end. And at the same time, people love Rusev and love Rusev Day and all that. So yeah, it's just tough for me to pick. But I think the safe bet is Taker winning, honestly. So
I would agree with that.
It's so hard for me to pick, though.
I think Rusev is ready to lose this match. By all of his stuff on Twitter, he's like, "Bury me softly, brother," stuff like that. He's said on Twitter and stuff. Man, I think it would be better for Rusev to win. depending on what the crowd's reaction is, this might be one of those matches that they decide in the ring.
Ah.
This could be one of those things. It's like it doesn't matter who goes over if the Undertaker makes the call, because like you said, I think Undertaker is. I mean, he's older now, but he's always been this way, as far as I remember. That he's going to put the younger guy over. He's a businessman. He is a wrestling businessman. He knows how the business works. In order for an up and coming talent, and Rusev is way over right now. Why not put him extremely over by putting him with the Undertaker and having him win? Yeah, I got no idea. I think the best bet is Undertaker, but I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, John Cena versus Triple H. Who you got?
Obviously, you know who will win,
Yep.
but I think Cena will win. It's just Triple H is in the position where he doesn't need to win another wrestling match ever.
That's true.
Ever. Like, he doesn't need to win another match ever. Everybody knows who he is.
And it's better that he doesn't.
It is. And also, I think he's at that point where he's like, we need to do what's best for business. I'll put over the younger guys. I mean, he put over, him and Steph put over, Rousey and, Kurt Angle. Blank on
Oh,
that.
sorry.
And then last year he put over Seth. Year before he put over Roman. So I think he's in that point where, like, I'm going to use my star power now to help the younger people come up, and which is good. And also, I think hopefully part of it is a self-imposed penance for all the years of politicking and burying guys. So, in my mind, it's funny if that's kind of what's happening.
Yeah,
But he's
funny.
like, I was a jerk when I was younger. I'm gonna make things right now by putting over all the young guys.
That'd be funny.
So yeah, I think Cena. It just get that nice rebound win after getting squashed by Taker, and stuff, and their match at WrestleMania 22 back in 2006 was a really good match. So I'm sure, and they're both much more far along in their wrestling knowledge and skill. So I think it'll be really good to watch. So
Yeah, and they're both like old school style, and so and old school is in like 10, 20 years ago.
yeah.
Style, not horribly old, but yeah, I would agree. I would like. Sorry, just thinking about this, I would like to see Cena get involved in the Undertaker match. That's just me. It's not going to happen because we're the best fantasy bookers in the world.
Yeah.
Just kidding, we're not. All right.
We're close.
I would agree with everything you said. WWE Championship: AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Who you got and why?
This one's kind of tough to pick too, but I think maybe Shinsuke will win.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. Universal Championship Steel Cage match. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Who you got and why?
Once again, tough to pick because everybody thought they knew what was going to happen at WrestleMania 34. Nothing happened that people thought was going to happen. Because that was just all it was. It was about, haha, we're smarter than you, blah, 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 but whatever. Don't want to bring all that up again.
Yep.
I think Roman will win, maybe. I'm like 70% sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe number, 70%.
I'm like 70% sure he will win. And a steel cage match is cool. I like steel cage matches. I like Hell in a Cell matches. And I feel like look, for me, now it's a clean slate. All right, that match at WrestleMania, Brock, Brock was boring in it and stuff like that. I don't really fault Roman too much, if at all, for that match not being good. It just wasn't booked well, and Brock just really didn't do a lot. He just did the same Plan A type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, you guys have a clean slate. You have a do-over. You have hit reset. You have a chance to make it up. Steel cage matches, and there's been some great steel cage matches, and so you have a chance to make up for that and have a much better match here. Whether or not they'll do that, I don't know. So yeah, hopefully this will make up for that bungle of a main event. So yeah, like I said, I'm going with Roman. 70% sure he'll win.
I assume that the greatest Royal Rumble match will be last. Wouldn't you assume that?
Yeah.
So I could foresee them having Brock Lesnar win, just because this isn't the last match, and to make them go home happy. The person who wins the greatest Royal Rumble would be someone that the crowd would like.
Yeah.
But
then again, you don't know how sovereign the Saudi Arabian fans are to Roman Reigns.
You're right. I don't. And I'm
So who knows
Yeah.
how they'll react. A lot of people think that's why they're waiting to put Roman over here,
Mm.
is because they're like, oh, they're going to be more neutral. They'll be more accepting of the good guy there, you know. So who knows? But anyways,
yeah, and from the crowd's reaction to the first match, it seems evident that that's what they would do. They would put over the good guy, not the bad guy. If Brock wins, I don't see where they go from here.
mm-hmm.
If Roman wins, I can see them breaking out of the Brock Lesnar haze and going somewhere with it. I don't know where, but at least somewhere, because Brock isn't going to be. I mean, he's not full time, and he's barely even part time. He's kind of got the Undertaker schedule right now, where they want Undertaker to come and wrestle like four to five times a year. That's pretty much what Brock's on, essentially. And so I want to see Roman Reigns win.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a strong case Brock will win.
There's,
I want that to happen.
I mean, there's just so much more you can do with Roman winning.
I agree.
You know, there's just so many more ways you can go. So.
All right, with that, the last match to talk about is the Greatest Royal Rumble match. Caleb, any thoughts about who might win?
No, it's just like, because there's not really a storyline going on, seemingly, with, like, 2 years ago, there was, or last year rather, sorry, they had the storyline of Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, that you could be like, okay, that's a potential, springboard, for the Royal Rumble is for that feud to go to the next level, and then the year before that was, where Roman was defending the title in the Royal Rumble match, and it was like, okay, so it's storyline driven. So, this one it isn't really, and so it's much harder for me to kind of pinpoint who I think will win it, eventually and stuff. So, yeah, it's really tough for me to pick who I think will win it, just because there's so many there. Personally, I think it would be cool if Jericho won it, since he's going to be in it. I love Chris Jericho. He's awesome, and he was like super game about coming back and doing this, and I think it would be super awesome if he came back and won the Greatest Royal Rumble, since he hasn't won a regular Royal Rumble. So I think for him to win the Greatest Royal Rumble would truly be the gift of Jericho, and we would drink it in, man. So that's my fantasy heart. That's my heart picking. That's my fantasy life. For real, I could see Braun winning, maybe. I just don't know. It's so tough for me to pick.
Yeah, I don't know what their plans are in Saudi Arabia. If they're planning on actually building a WWE corporation. If they are, then might as well pick one of the guys that has shown up and tried out. I foresee that possibly happening. I think whoever it's going to be a crowd-pleasing thing. Okay. I think they want to leave Saudi Arabia as happy as possible. Not in a bad way, but in the fact that they're in a business way. They want to set up shop in all these countries. Why not set up shop in these countries and make a big name for yourself by putting over either one of their nationals or somebody that the nation would love? I don't know who the Saudis' favorite wrestler is, but put over that guy. Something to make the people go home happy.
If they love Fandango, go with Fandango.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, anything else to add on?
Nope,
quick.
I think we're pretty much running out of time.
Yeah. Just about a minute, 10 seconds.
All right,
All right, so that was the Greatest Royal Rumble Spectacular Show thing.
I'm just gonna sit here and watch the time.
Yeah, just stand here and watch the
minute
time.
left.
Right
Here we
now.
go.
All right. Minute left. All right. Well, time to go home and watch the Greatest Royal Rumble, which will be fantastic. It'll be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. Super excited. So, all right, Jeremy, tell the boys and girls goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. See you, everybody.
Peace.